So, you guys have had time to convene. I have 5 votes for fungus. 5 votes for bacteria, 2 for fungus, and 1 for viruses, no for chemicals. I'll tell you it's not none of the above. It is one of these. I'm going to click on all these real quick, though, just so that, well, I think it remembered me from before, like another day. Okay, there we go. So, why would it not be the chemical? Anybody?
Because when they ran it,
the absorption flame photometer was the same, right? And if they're the same, there would be nothing different in either one, chemical-wise, so it was not a poison, okay? They thought it was a failure, but it wasn't. That was your jinky clue, right? Yep. And then the next one, how about a virus? That got the least votes. Why could it not be the virus? Yes? Yes, viruses are smaller than a half micron, and anything that went through that half micron filter did not get the mouse sick, right? Even in a bad mouse. So that means things less than a half micron viruses did not get the mice sick, so it wasn't a virus. Yeah. How about fungus? Fungus got 2 votes. Who voted for fungus? Why could it not be the fungus? It's almost the same thing as the virus, right, except the other way around. Funguses are larger than what, like 10 microns? So the things larger than in that F100A model did not get the mouse sick, so it could not have been a virus. And so it was only those things that were between, I think it was like the 5A or whatever, so it was like the F5A, right? F5A, yeah. With the things that were between a half micron and 10 microns, bacterial sizes, were the ones that got the mice really sick, and that was the bacterium indeed. So if you got bacteria, that's awesome. We're going to keep moving in the mystery here. So you tell Fran it's a bacteria. It is a bacteria, and you say, now we have a culture of it growing right here, and you point to the whitish growth in PDA dish. Fran's eyes narrow. Not a virus, she asks? We think it's well, you get the hiccups. I was going to say bless you, but I don't think you bless hiccups. I'm not sure. I have to ask the Pope. All right. So Fran's eyes narrow. It's not a virus, she asks. We think it's probably a virus. Can't be a virus, you say firmly. A virus would have gone through that half micron filter, but the pathogen did not. Fran grabs the clipboard away from you, and her eyes dart over the results. You're right, she says finally. That is good work. She turns on her heel and marches outside. You hear her talking to someone, then a motor scooter starts up and roars away. I love that Fran is driving a motor scooter. All right. So Fran comes back holding a box. I've sent word back to the hospital. She says, bacteria, that will be a big help. Meanwhile, we have another problem. Part 3. Bum, bum, bum. All right. Your new assignment. You better be taking notes. It's going to get harder. Problem, you ask. Fran sets down her box and pulls out a rack of test tubes at the hospital. Mostly we've been trying to keep these people alive. She says what they've got basically is profound hemophilia. We find we can stop the bleeding temporarily with clotting factor. The problem is we're running out of clotting factor. Yikes, you say. We've got to learn how to stop this disease at its source. She goes on. Now that we know it's a bacterium, she holds up the test tubes. Antibiotics, she summarizes. Let's find one that, what the heck is that? Footsteps are pounding outside, getting closer fast. A figure bursts through the door with wild eyes and arms streaked with blood. It's Zach. No. Bum, bum, bum. Oh. An ominous victim. Gug leads Zach and points back out the door. You and Fran hear footsteps approaching. A huge man staggers into the lab. Immense hands wiping at his eyes. He's covered with blood stains, and blood drips from his fingers and eyes. Criminy, breathes Fran. Criminy. This is a Scooby-Doo mystery. Anyway, the man collides with the table holding the photometer, scattering papers everywhere, trying to steady himself. One massive hand sends a rack of glassware flying. I'm out of here, Zach gasps and flees for the back room. The man reels towards you and Fran, shaking hands outstretched, blood coursing off his fingers. With a scream, Fran bolts for the back room. You hear more equipment shatter, and the man takes a step closer. Oh, you guys have a choice. Do we stand our ground, or do we run and join Fran? You guys are not very realistic. I would run. Are you sure you want to run? Okay. Everybody say hello, Mr. Lynch.
Do you have Tanner Sheehan in here?
Tanner is right back there.
Here you go, Tanner.
Oh.
There you go. There's info on that page that you can read. Share it with your mom and dad.
All right. So you guys say run or stand your ground? Oh, I don't know. Okay. I don't think I would do that. I'm smart. When I was young, I might have done that like you guys, but now I'm older and smart. Oh, I see. Okay. So you're hoping I hit the back button. Okay. We are geniuses and decide to confront the bleeding man. Hold on there, you warn the man. Stop. The huge man rocks unsteadily on his feet, blood squishing out of his size 14. Size 14! He's a giant. You guys are not thinking this through. All right. One eye is squeezed shut and the other blinks out red drops. You've got a disease, you say slowly and clearly. You have to go to the hospital. The man staggers forward another step, his arm sweeping a box of Petri dishes off the table. A computer monitor rocks and topples off the table, its cord dragging the computer after it. Go to the hospital, you repeat. Do you understand? Slowly the man brings his hand up right under your nose. Thin red blood forms pools in his palms, and then your arms are seized in grips of steel. Oh, you guys. What? Oh, stand your ground. Yeah. And you find yourself propelled backward. Oh, bum, bum, bum. I don't think he's a murderer. He just got a disease. He might get us sick, though. You, Fran, and Zach decide what to do. Zach and Fran drag you into the lab's back room. All right, Zach slams the door and locks it. That guy is totally freaked, Fran says breathlessly. I don't think he understands English, Zach says. We've got to get him to the hospital, you say. You in what army? Zach raises his eyebrow. That guy is huge. He's bleeding a lot, Fran says. He's at an advanced stage. Is he going to die? Zach wants to know. Not if I can help it. Fran comes to a decision. Zach, you crawl out the window, go to Mercy Hospital and explain the situation. Don't take no for an answer. Bring help. Right, Zach gulps. Cool. He wriggles out the window into the night. What are we going to do, you ask? Thwomp. Jinkies, yeah. Fran slams her rack of antibiotics on the table. What do you think? We're going to find a cure. It could be. You never know. Us, you gulp? Can we do that? Seems like we need to know a lot more about this bacterium than we do now. Right, confirms Fran. Her eyes are a little evasive. We need to run some tests. Not on that guy out there, you say flatly. No, Fran agrees. Not on him. On the bacteria in here, she says, picking up the bottle of milk. What kinds of tests? She hesitates. She says, after a long moment, like, I'm not really sure. She passes a hand over her eyes. Sure is hot in here. Fran, you say? Are you all right? Oh, no. Characterizing the bacteria. She shrugs it off. Sure, she says, I'm fine. Now what were we talking about? Tests, you say, on the bacteria. Right, she says. She lists them off. Gram stain, 1 for 1. Is it gram positive or gram negative? Jinkies. Really basic way to characterize a bacterium. Wait, you say, grabbing Zach's clipboard, you start writing everything down. Now go on. Shape identification, she continues. Once the bacterium is stained, look at it under a microscope. Is it shaped like a rod or round like a coccyx? Curved like a vibrio or what? She pauses. So there's 3 basic shapes. A rod, a round spherical coccyx, or a curve or a vibrio. That's like a spiral, okay? Only one problem. Oh, you say, what's that? All the equipment is in there, she says, jerking her thumb towards the door to the main room with the blood-crazed madman. The daring mission of mercy. We can go get it, you say, moving to the door. I'll restrain the man while you grab the stuff, but Fran does not move. I can't, she says plaintively. I just can't. It's my hemophobia. You're one of those people who bleeds, you ask in amazement? No, she says scornfully. That's hemophilia. I have like this really dreadful fear of blood. Hemophobia. If I went in there, I'd just freak. Fear of blood? And you're a pre-med student? I wasn't planning on being a surgeon or anything, she responded hotly. I'm going to be a radiologist. Okay, you say, great, whatever. You wait here by the door. All right, I'm going in. So, friends, she should have gone to the hospital and left us Zach at this point, right? Of course, Zach wasn't very smart. I don't think he could have helped us. Yeah, he kind of, I guess so, yeah. Not bad for a hippie, right? Yeah. I know, because he was painting Petri dishes. When you slip into the room, the man is slumped against the table, his head in his hands, but somehow he senses your presence and stands up. You marvel again at how big he is. I need to use the equipment. You say to him, stand right there. As you step towards the table, you hear the man step close behind you. He grabs your throat and chokes you. It's too late. You're going to die. Oh, that's not what happened? Okay, I was just checking. Okay, I've seen who was paying attention. Yep. As you step over to the lab table, you hear the man step close behind you. Breath gurgles in his throat. There's a steady dripping sound. So far, so good. Fran calls from the doorway. Fran walks you through the steps of Graham staining. First, you take a sample of evil milk A and add crystal violet to the stain in the cells. Then add iodine, which fixes the purple stain in some types of bacteria. Next, you wash everything in alcohol, which decolorizes the non-fixed bacteria. Finally, you add a red counter stain and prepare the sample for viewing. All while the man stands quietly behind you as if mesmerized. I think so. He's trying to get help. He just needs help. Sure, he can't see. Well, we'll go with that. So now you look at evil milk A under the microscope. I see 3 different bacteria, you report to Fran. One is round like a ball. The other 2 are kind of sausage shaped. And one's straight and the other's curved. Okay? Jinkies, jinkies, and jinkies. Try a drop of the other milk, she urges. You do so. 1 ball and 1 sausage, you announce. A straight sausage? Jinkies. Lots of clues there. Can I go back? Yes, I have a magic back button. There it is. Was that long enough? I didn't think so. So the evil milk has got a ball, a sausage, and then a curved one. The other one's just got a ball and a sausage shaped one. All right. Escape. Right. Note what color they are, Fran calls out. That's important. Now, do you see my backpack anywhere? You scramble through the blood-soaked papers and come up with a green backpack. You zip it open. Inside is a book and some more culture dishes. Got it, you say. Come on back, she says, and bring it. With a whoop, a huge hand lands on your shoulder. Grinning. The man shouts, whirling you around. The other massive hand lunges at the backpack. Fran screams as the dishes are flung free and shatter on the floor. Then you are twisting free and vaulting over the tabletop, slip-sliding awkwardly, and then the papers and blood. Come on, Fran screams, and when you leap through the door, she slams it behind you. Are you all right, she asks. You shakily? I think so, you wheeze. It's hard to tell. Your shirt is a bloody mess. Oh, good, she tells you distractedly. Then she falls silent, and before you can move, her eyes roll up in her head, and she topples over backwards. Son of a Fran. All right. She's fainted. She's got hemophobia. Fran, you yell and rush to her side. She's unconscious. You try to wake her to no avail. You pillow her head with a lab coat while you ponder what to do next. You take a look at the things you've got with you in the lab's back room, the rack of antibiotics. There are 8 small bottles in the carrying rack. You read the labels carefully. Penicillin G, amphotericin B, gentamicin, anthimetidine, ethambutol, amikacin, acyclovir, tetracycline. Okay. So these are all, you guys have probably taken quite a few of these actually. But in the knapsack, Fran has had a large, I've taken tetracycline, I've taken acyclovir, I've taken a form of penicillin called amoxicillin. You guys have had that. Right? Yeah. And the other ones I haven't had. No, I haven't had, I'm sorry, I haven't had tetracycline. That's an antiviral. I've just heard of it. It sounded too common. So the knapsack. Fran has a large book titled Black's Medical Diagnosis 2004. You guys might want to write those down. Jammed safely under it, you find culture dishes she brought from the hospital. It's labeled gentamicin with a paper circle stuck in the middle of the agar. Agar is just what you put in petri dishes to grow stuff. So our goal is going to be to figure out what we're going to give the guy bleeding to death outside, right?
How is he not dead yet? He must have lost a lot of weight.
Well, a lot's not all, right? Oh, yeah. Just abbreviate them as best you can. Well, really 1 or 2 units is all you can lose, which is 2 pints. So you don't want to lose any more than that, or you're going to severely lose your blood pressure so much you probably can't. Your heart won't be able to work. Yeah. It's 2 of those. You'd be surprised if I were to spill. I mean, you give a pint of blood when you give blood, but if you lost. Well, you wouldn't want to lose any more than 2 to 3 pints, or you're going to be severely affected. So much so you probably go into shock and very easily die. Yeah. You only have 8 in your body. The average person has 8. All right, here we go. Fran has a large book titled Black's Medicine Diagnosis 2004 stuck in her backpack. Jammed safely under it, you find a culture dish she brought from the hospital. It is labeled gentamicin with a paper circle stuck in the middle of the agar. We need to find something in Black's book that we're looking for. In the antimicrobial therapy section, you learn the steps that physicians go through when prescribing antibiotics. Whenever possible, they culture the suspected pathogen and test the proposed antibiotic on the culture before administering it to the patient. However, they're also aware that to stop some serious cases, it's best not to wait for test results, kind of where we're at. When the pathogen is not fully known, the physicians must make a best guess based on what is known about the infectious organism. If it is a gram-positive coccis, for example, it can usually be treated successfully with penicillin because penicillin is generally known to be effective against that type of bacteria. Physicians generally prefer bactericidal antibiotics because they actively kill the infectious bacteria. This is especially true in advanced cases. Hint, jinkies, jinkies. Bacteriostatic antibiotics suppress bacterial growth, which gives the patient natural defense time to kill off the infection. Next, on food poisoning catches your eye. How much time do I have? I'm going to have to stop.